Welcome back to another match, another replay cast from NGS. This time we're going to Division C East, a match that happened 3 days ago on Thursday between Protectors of Aiur and Brick House. Now, I'm not too familiar with Division C East just yet. I haven't seen too many of their replays, but I do know that Brick House has been doing very, very well this season so far. Protectors of Aiur having a little bit more trouble, but I'm hoping to see some very, very, very equal games tonight so far. Once again, I did my best not to spoil myself, so I'm not sure yet which team is going to win. I'm personally hoping, as usual, for a third game, but we'll see. Last time, yesterday, we got a very quick 2-0 in the last match that I casted between Dream Team and LTK GoldenEye, and those were very good games too, so who knows? 2-0s can also be very exciting. Either way, let's go for let's look at the map bans for both teams. Protectors of Aiur opting to ban the team maps with Towers of Doom and Tomb of the Spider Queen, while Brick House going with their their true nature of their B name and banning the B maps, Brax's Holdout and Battlefield of Eternity. So Brick House opting to ban both of the 2-lane maps. Well, actually, no, Hanamura isn't in the map pool. So yeah, the only two dueling maps that we have, Tomb of the Spider Queen and Towers of Doom, being two relatively short maps. Not entirely sure exactly what each of the team's game plans are or were, but I'm looking forward to finding out. Once again, I can't be sure which team picked Volskaya Foundry, but I am so excited to see a Volskaya Foundry map tonight. It's the first game on that map that I've seen so far in NGS. I haven't gotten to play it either, and it's one of my favorite maps. I'm so sad it's out of the rotation for Storm League, so I'm super excited to see it tonight. If one of the players from either team is watching right now, please let me know who picked either of the maps. That would be very helpful. Otherwise, we'll just have to do it. What do we have? So, Volskaya Foundry, very excited for that. And without too much more delay, let's go into a short intro video before the match begins, and then we'll dive right in.
Oh, a swap! Oh no, but a swap followed by a light bulb.
Here. 4-man mosh pit followed by a tomb. Oh no! Oh, here's Light Bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man Light Bomb. They're gonna follow up, and they're gonna get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's gonna be everybody dying. Oh my God! When does this happen? Everybody's dead.
We are in, and will the image actually load? There we go. We are in the game. On the left-hand side of the map, in the blue, Protectors of Aiur, with Ikpliktek on the Muradin, Surgeon Scoops on the Anduin, the Boomer 444 on Zul'jin, Pants, lovely name, on the Blaze, and Orion on the Vala. And on the red-hand side of the map, it is Brick House, having a color that suits their name. And they have Dizzy Wingman on the Deathwing, Zesty on Brightwing, Shyborg on Tychus, Tater on Sylvanas, and Little Sol on May. We see Double Dragon tonight on the side of Brick House. I love to see it. I'm just a little sad that the Brightwing didn't decide to go for the Deathwing skin. It's my personal favorite. The skin synergy isn't quite there, but hopefully for them, the team synergy will be a little better. See both teams doing a very similar movement so far. Zul'jin in the off lane going up against the Deathwing. We don't see Zul'jin very often going in the off lane, but against the Zul'jin I think it's a very good idea. Zul'jin able to very easily stack on the Deathwing if he's not careful enough. And once again, if there's any player from either team in the chat right now, please feel free to share some insights so we can have a little bit of a fuller story about the draft and the map picks and everything. It's always nice to know. It's not mandatory, but it's nice to know. You see the first camp being taken a little early by Brick House, shortly, soon followed by Protectors of Aiur, both getting their turrets. I love this map. I am so happy to have him match on it tonight. Slight experience lead from Brick House. They're going to reach level 4 first. Deathwing opted to rotate to the top lane, not wanting to face up against Zul'jin for too long, but Zul'jin is following around. Nope, he's going to go right back to the middle. We see a slight advantage in terms of camp timing from Brick House, which is going to accentuate the pressure in the top lane. And now they're going to be followed by Protectors of Aiur. I love Protectors of Air's logo, by the way. An entire team name based on that one talent. A very impactful talent, though, from Artanis. I hope we do get to see an Artanis game from Protectors of Aiur. That would be very, very on theme. Either way, Brick House is going to be putting a lot of pressure into that bottom lane. 4 people attacking that gate at the same time. Blaze trying his best to delay them while his team is rotating down to help, but the entire wall is going to fall before that happens. Now Brick House is walking back. The first objective is popping up, and we're going to see some Volskaya action. Deathwing is staying in the top lane, potentially making use of his global, which Brick House does have the global advantage. This isn't one of the maps where it's the most important, but it can have an impact if used properly. They have 2 globals to the 0 of Protectors of Aiur. And they have a slight... Oh, it looks like they went into a break. They're going to contest that middle objective, both teams not fully committing to it, not wanting to lose any soak while the objective is going on. Very wise idea. Ooh, a big engage by the Mei on Protectors of Aiur, securing a kill on Vala, and then Zul'jin barely not able to escape. Very well done by the Mei. Meanwhile, there's a standoff in the middle between Blaze and Deathwing. Neither of them giving any ground, but with Protectors of Aiur walking with a 3-man onto the point, Deathwing is simply going to go and do something else. But Brick House isn't idling in that time. In the meantime, they're taking this healing item, which is going to be very useful for them when they take the point. It's now back to a 5v5. The death timers are still very short. Still, neither team fully committing to this first objective, opting to get some pressure and get some options with the turrets. Brick House has the slight experience advantage. If Protectors of Aiur wants to take this objective, they'll have to commit to it before Brick House gets to level 10. Because when they do, it's going to be a whole lot more difficult to do anything. Another great engage by the Mei, but she doesn't get the follow-up that she quite looks for. She's going to take a lot of damage while going away. Deathwing with a huge apocalypse, or whatever the name of that is, manages to take down the Blaze, soon followed by 2 other members of Protectors of Aiur. A very, very good engage from Brick House, and now they have their level 10s. Those kills managed to get them there faster, and Protectors of Aiur are going to have a lot of trouble contesting that objective. They do have the advantage in terms of the percentage. They're already at 99%, which might give them a little bit of breathing room, but I don't think they'll have level 10 in time. In fact, it's rather unlikely. Instead, they're opting to soak all 3 of the lanes to try and close that gap as fast as they can, giving that first mech to the side of Brick House. Thankfully for Protectors of Aiur, that first mech is typically very weak. Will we see a big dragon in the mech? I love to see it. It's so goofy to me how Deathwing can simply enter those mechs, or the Dragon Knight. Ooh, an attempt at a mind control on the Vala, but she manages to dash away just in time, saving her life. She's going to stack quite a lot onto that Protector. So is the Zul'jin. That's a slight advantage of losing the mech when you're the stacking team. But the team of Brickhouse is doing a lot of damage, forcing that Vala out of the fight. Zul'jin doing what he can. Ooh, he's extending a lot. The Mei is going to catch it, but she's not going to be able to get the stun. And Brickhouse is going to take that fort. Will they look for more? Yep, they're going to simply retreat. In the meantime, we see Blaze putting a lot of pressure into that bottom lane. Now, shortening the gap to a little bit less than a full level, which Protectors of Aiur should be able to recover from if they play their macro well. But Brickhouse is not willing to let their advantage fall. They're going to take this camp very quickly. Brightwing starting on the turret camp as well. Ronan, welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy yourself. And yeah, both teams seem very, very good. I'm very excited to cast a C East team today. I haven't had that chance yet. And thank you for your follow, by the way. Very appreciated. Deathwing putting some pressure into that bottom lane. It's going to be intercepted by the Blaze, but Deathwing has a lot of survivability, so he's not worried. Brickhouse is doing a good job of maintaining their level advantage. Protectors of Aiur is shortening the gap, but that level 13 advantage, while it might be a talent tier, it's not the most impactful in the world, but Protectors of Aiur are going to not take that risk, which could have resulted in disaster. Vala keeps stacking, already 30 stacks, which is pretty good. Zul'jin having a little more trouble stacking up, but 22 is not small. Not huge, not small, it's about average, I say. Brickhouse tries to use the Sylvanas to put a lot of pressure into that middle. Oh, the counter synergy is unfortunate. That snowball cancelling out the mind control, which I think was connecting with the Anduin. A little unfortunate there for Brickhouse. And now, on the same talent tier, Protectors of Aiur is looking to counter-engage, but they're taking a lot of damage. They're going to take down the Brightwing. Very, very well done. Bunker goes down, but it's not going to be able to save Zul'jin. And now it's a 4v4, but there's a lot more health on the side of Brickhouse. But they're fighting under a fort. It's a very, very dangerous place to be. They're going to retreat. They don't have their healer yet anymore. They don't have their healer anymore anyway. And it looks like they're just going to soak and prepare for the next objective. So is Protectors of Aiur. This objective is going to be a lot more impactful potentially than the first one. See a little bit of a standoff here, actually. Protectors of Aiur putting some pressure into that top fort, but they're into a 3v4. Zul'jin is joining, but not before Anduin takes a lot of damage from the Tychus. A very good stun by the Mei to secure that kill as well. And it looks like Brickhouse is going to have a slight advantage going into this next objective. Still 20 or so seconds before the Anduin comes back. And Brickhouse is going to have some trouble committing to that fight. They're going to try and go for a gank on the Deathwing. And they do a lot of damage, but Deathwing has a lot of health and cannot be stunned, so it's kind of hard to gank him. Ooh, Brickhouse going for the counter engage on that attempted invade. by Protectors of Aiur. They're going to get the mind control on the Vala, get the kill. Polymorph goes on to the Muradin, securing the kill as well. And what looked like a very, very good idea from Protectors of Aiur turned to disaster, as Brickhouse simply left the objective to go deal with this, and now they're the ones who are going to steal a turret. And they have their level 16s. Deathwing is going alone on the point. Brightwing won't be able to join him as phase shift does not work onto a Deathwing, so Deathwing might have been a little bit of danger, but Protectors of Aiur instead doesn't take the risk of going on to the point. They're simply going to give it and try to soak, get to 16 before the objective pops, so they have better chance of defending, but that objective, that Triglav Protector, is going to be supported by those airplanes, or whatever they're called. Assault Trooper. And now that I've clicked on it, I can't make this thing disappear in the corner. If anyone knows how to make that disappear, that would be very appreciated. Either way, very good move by Protectors of Aiur. They're going to put some counter pressure in the bottom lane, taking down the fort, but unfortunately their recall gets interrupted by the Brightwing, and now they're going to be a little late to defend their gate, and it's already down with a full health Triglav still, and now it's on to the keep. The mind control misses its target. Mei tries to go for the slide in, but gets interrupted by the Zul'jin net. Very, very good reaction time. Orion taking a lot of damage in the backline, gets healed very, very well though. Triglav is taking a lot of damage, but it might make the keep fall before it falls itself. A huge stun in the backline by the Blaze too, but now he's the one being focused, but ooh, he's going to fall. I was going to say that might have just saved his life, but the Triglav was on top of it. 3 members of Protectors of Aiur falling. Taika is trying to go into the Vala. She's going to escape, but this might just be the end of this game for Protectors of Aiur. Brickhouse smells blood in the water, and they're going to go for it. Phase shift going down onto the Mei to keep her alive a little longer. Deathwing is very, very, very low, but he's going to walk away. And those 2 heroes from Protectors of Aiur, will they be enough to push it away? Oh, but Tater and Little Sol are focusing everything they have. Sylvanas falls, but unfortunately for Protectors of Aiur, it's not quite enough, and this first game is going to go over to Brickhouse. GG is called. Alright, what a first game. A very dominant display by Brickhouse, closing this game a lot faster than I thought, and I'll be honest, I wish the game had lasted a little bit longer because I love Volskaya. I wanted to see more actions. We saw 2 Triglavs. Hey, sometimes that's all it takes. Very good play from Protectors of Aiur. I really liked the Vala. She did a lot of damage, managed to get a lot of stacks. Pants' Blaze also managed to get a lot of stuns, did fantastically in the offlane. Unfortunately for them, though, Brickhouse came in very, very strongly in this first game. The Deathwing was doing fantastically, soaking, using his strength to his advantage. Brightwing with some fantastic heals, also using her global ability to the fullest extent. Those blizzards followed by icing from Mei were very, very good, very on point. And the mind controls were also very deadly. And here they are, those talents. I forgot in-game to name the ultimates, but here they are now. Avatar, Light Bomb, Tazdingo, Bunker Drop, Rain of Vengeance from the side of Protectors of Aiur. And on the side of Brickhouse, we have Billowing Roar, Blink Heal, Draken Laser Drill, Mind Control, and Avalanche. I've been seeing a lot of Draken Laser Drill recently. It's not something that I'm used to seeing, but it does work very well in some situations, and I'm glad to see it. It's nice to see not just the same ultimate every time. So if you liked the way that those players played their game, and you would like to try and do the same, or even better in your own games, feel free to look at those talents, copy them. If I haven't looked at them for long enough, you can always go back to the VOD and pause it. Either way, very, very good game. Thanks, Ronan. I'm glad you enjoy. There's going to be at least one more game, hopefully two, before we close out the series. We're going to go on a very, very short break, and we'll be right back for game number 2. This was indeed a very short break. Welcome back. So, first game won on Volskaya by Brick House, and the second game is going to be on Garden of Terror. Very excited for that as well. Let's not wait any longer, let's dive right in, but actually shortly before we go, let's go to a short intro video, and we'll be right back.
Oh, a swap! Oh no, but a swap followed by a light bulb.
Here. 4-man mosh pit followed by a tomb. Oh no! Oh, here's light bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man light bomb. They're gonna follow up, and they're gonna get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's gonna be everybody dying. Oh my God! When does this happen? Everybody's dead.
The battle begins shortly.
Welcome to Garden of Terror. Welcome to game number 2 of this match. On the left side of the map, rocking the favorite color of the Protoss, it is Protectors of Aiur. And we've got Ikplik on the Anubarak, Surgeon Scoops on the Anduin, the Boomer 444 on Zul'jin, Pants on the Haka, and Orion on the Sylvanas. And on the right-hand side of the map, with the colors of a brick house, as their name would imply, it is Brick House. And we have Zesty on the Brightwing, Dizzy Wingman on the Deathwing, Little Skull on Diablo, Shyborg on Tychus, and Tater on Tassadar. We see once again Deathwing from the side of Brick House, which was very, very effective in the first game. A little surprised they didn't ban it. But then again, they also had Mei and Sylvanas that were very dangerous. Protectors of Aiur opting to pick Sylvanas themselves this time around, and they went for a global of their own with the Dehaka. Once again, we see Brightwing on the side of Brick House as well, going for the double dragon once again, which I love to see. While Protectors of Aiur sticking with their Anduin, which played very well last game, as well as their Zul'jin. A lot of the same heroes making a return in this game number 2. This map, however, plays very, very differently than Volskaya Foundry. We'll see how both of those teams are going to play their game. We see once again Brick House getting a slightly earlier camp than Protectors of Aiur, but Protectors of Aiur are opting to take their Bruiser camp first. So we'll see how that plays out.
Red team draws first blood.
Ooh, I did not see that, and I apologize. I wasn't looking in the right place. A huge gank from Brickhouse takes care of the Dehaka in the top lane. Thankfully for Dehaka, he has a global and the death timers are short, so he shouldn't lose too much experience up here. And now both teams go right back to camping, and just like I said, Dehaka is on the job already, right back to where he was. Is there going to be another gank? Doesn't look like it. First seed is going to appear on the side of Brick House, on the right side of the map, which is going to give them a slight advantage for the first seed. But that doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things. Brick House, I assume, is going to want to grab this seed. We'll see what Protectors of Aiur is going to do. They grab this camp at a very, very good timing, right before the objective pops up, while Dehaka is cleaning up the Bruiser camp. This is going to potentially do a lot of damage. And they have the they have a global up there. A huge gank in the bottom lane on the Zul'jin. He was busy stacking on the Deathwing, and he didn't see that one coming. He got a lot of stacks from the Deathwing already, but that's going to slow him down for a while, and that's going to allow Brickhouse to take this first seed pretty much uncontested. And they're also going to take this camp at the same time. Dehaka, though, getting a lot of value in the top lane with this siege camp. Going at it. Deathwing goes up to try and stop it. Very good use of the global as from Brickhouse as well. This map is a little larger than the average, so it's good to see some global heroes being played. Ooh, I like this positioning from Diablo, but it looks like Protectors of Aiur saw it coming. They're not going to let him ambush someone. They're going for a gamp on the bottom lane. Sylvanas is already out of there, though. She probably got the call that Brickhouse was rotating. Deathwing is taking a lot of damage, but that last armor plate is going to keep him alive. Second seed popping up in a neutral zone. Most of the team of Brickhouse is still in the bottom lane, putting some pressure. They're getting a lot done. This first tower is almost down. It's going to fall, shortly followed by the second one. Will they give the second seed? It looks like they're now rotating to get it, but they might be too late. But I don't think they worry too much about that. They have a slight experience advantage, but much less than in the first game at this point. Ooh, I just realized Brightwing went for the bribe talent, which is not something that you see often. Deathwing with the interrupt, very well done. Drops onto the team, a beautiful wall, keeps them from escaping where they wanted to, and now they're taking a lot of damage. Brickhouse is all over this objective, and it's a 4v5. Now, Protectors of Aiur are joined by Sylvanas, but not before Brickhouse managed to take this seed, and they're up 2-0. Putting a lot of pressure on the team of Protectors of Aiur, because if they don't at least try to contest this next seed, they're in for a big push in all three lanes. Dehaka doing what he can to soak and push as far away from Deathwing as he can. But there's a gank coming down on him. It looks like he expected it to happen, or did he? A little bit of a forward rotation almost gets him killed. A wall keeps him from walking away, but no follow-up from the rest of Brick Wall. The Dehaka is simply going to be able to walk away. And now the next seed is popping up on the side of Protectors of Aiur. The perfect opportunity for them to grab a seed. Oh, beautiful drag onto the Tassadar, but the phase shift from Brightwing is going to keep him alive. Very well done by Zesty. And now Dehaka is in a lot of trouble. He already used his stasis. He's taking a lot of damage. Will he fall? Anduin desperately tries to leap him back into his team, but it's a little bit too late. And now we see Odin being used to put a lot of damage onto that fort. Meanwhile, Deathwing is taking the seed. It's going to be 3 seeds to 0 for Brickwall. They're going to take this first objective, and now it's 10 to 10 in terms of levels. So Protectors of Aiur should be able to defend this relatively well. We see Blink Heal, Bellowing Roar, Lightning Breath, Commandeer, Odin, and Black Hole on the side of Brickwall, and they're going to engage very ferociously onto the team of Protectors of Aiur, but a little bit too much so. The Diablo is going to fall to both the combined efforts of DPSs from Protectors of Aiur and the fort. A lot of CC going on to Tychus. Zesty being slowed down, attacked by the Sylvanas, but is going to be able to walk away. Meanwhile, their fort is going down. Protectors of Aiur opted for Cocoon, Light Bomb, Taz, Dingo, Isolation, and Mind Control. Ults that can potentially combo together very, very well. So we'll see if they're going to be able to use that to the full extent in the second game. They're losing a lot of their structures already. Brick House trying their best to secure the destruction of this top fort. They're going to get it. And now there's 6 structures to 3. But in terms of experience, it's still relatively even. So Protectors of Aiur, despite the very high pressure that's going to go onto their lanes, is going to be able to defend themselves still. They're going to go for the potential invade. A lot of damage going onto the Tassadar, but Brightwing managed to save him barely. Dehaka tries to finish the job, but barely misses. Meanwhile, a lot of damage coming from both Deathwing and Diablo. Secures 2 of the kills. Tychus with the Odin killing the Anduin. Deathwing is going to go on the chase and get rid of Zul'jin. And now a situation that was not too bad for Protectors of Aiur is now looking disastrous, as now it's almost a 2-level lead from Brick House as they're putting pressure into all the lanes. They have catapults pushing, they have camps. They're looking good in the second game. They're already putting a lot of pressure into that top fort. Protectors of Aiur have the possibility to defend. They're not too far behind. They just have to be careful, because there's a lot of damage on the side of Brick House from that Tychus and Tassadar. A very good drag, followed by Mind Control and Root on the Diablo, is going to secure a very, very good kill. And now Brick House is retreating. They don't have their front line anymore to defend them. Protectors of Aiur with a very, very good combo, trying to follow up and get another kill. They might find it on the Tychus. Tychus is in a very bad position. Deathwing is also very low. Both heroes might fall. And they do. Meanwhile, Brick House is going to try and recoup their losses by invading a camp, but this seed is going to go to Protectors of Aiur, and this must feel very, very good for them. They needed an opportunity, they needed to find the right mistake from Brick House to turn this game around, and they might just have found it. They're still at a slight disadvantage in experience, but it's still anyone's game. Diablo is going to not quite commit on the interrupt on this invade. He probably would have died if he did, so very wise. There's still a lot of pressure from Brick House on all lanes, as all of their heroes are now back up. Protectors of Aiur very, very desperately trying to get to 16s in a timely fashion. Brick House well on their way to getting that 16 first, and they keep trying to put pressure everywhere that they can. Zesty doing a little bit of offlaning, using her potential global to join her team if needed. Inset team is now pushing the top keep, and the entire team of Protectors of Aiur was in the bottom lane. They are forced to recall to deal with this. And I forgot what that ability is called from Deathwing, but it does a lot of damage to structures. A very good Light Bomb is going to go on to the Diablo, but it's not going to last for very long, and the Lightning Breath is going to take care of 3 of the members of Protectors of Aiur, and now they have free reign to take this keep if they so desire. The Haka is trying to get this structure down here, but he's going to... It's not going to matter if the core falls down, unfortunately. With 3 members of Protectors of Aiur still down for 10 more seconds, Brickhouse might have what it takes to take this core down, but they're not going to take that risk, because it is a risk. With 10 seconds, Protectors of Aiur could have turned this around with a good fight around the core. So Brickhouse deciding to be a little more careful, Zesty using stacks of bribe, which is not something you see very often being taken. But there are a lot of camps on this map, so I can't disagree with that. Brickhouse is going to go first on that objective. Protectors of Aiur busy with relieving lane pressure. They don't have 16s either, so it's very risky to try and get a fight right now. And now they have 16s, so if they want to make something happen, now is the time. They have a window, a relatively long window, as well as Brickhouse still has more than 2 levels to go before they reach level 20, at which point it'll be very, very difficult. If Protectors of Aiur haven't done something by then, it'll be very hard for them to turn it around after 20s. Or at least until they reach 20 themselves. I didn't see that happen. I keep not looking in the right place, but Brightwing was ganked by Protectors of Aiur, the kind of move that they desperately need at this point of the game. Now they're going to try and go for the invade. The camp is taken by Brickhouse, but they're still looking for kills. They can't stun that Deathwing. They're doing a lot of damage to it. He's going to waddle away, taking a lot of damage. Still 2 armor plates. He managed to go safely to his fort and his turrets. There is still 20 seconds left before that Brightwing goes up again. And it's going to be a 4v5. Oh, the drag on the Diablo, followed by the mind control once again, and rooted by the Zul'jin. Very well done. And the Anubarak is going to cocoon that Tassadar, offering a potential other kill. Which happens. Tassadar goes down. Diablo comes back up using his souls, but it's still going to be a 4v5 for Brickhouse if they want to fight. This is the kind of turnaround that Protectors of Aiur needed, but there is a lot of pressure onto that core. They need to respond right now, because those are 3 catapults with a bruiser camp. They're going to do a lot of damage. The shield is already almost down. And they're on it. But unfortunately for them, that means Brickhouse has more people onto that objective. Ooh, the polymorph onto the enemy, and he's going to try and run away. Tychus doesn't manage to quite finish the job. Drag onto the Diablo cancels the channeling, once again followed by the mind control. Very well done on the follow-up. And now they're looking for more. They're looking for blood. They're not going to quite find it, but they will have the seed. And we've got ourselves a game. I do love to see it. Oh, I like those interrupts from Deathwing, but oh my gosh, very well played. He couldn't use his ability on both of them, so he's going to land in the middle, but that might signal his death. The entire team of Brickhouse, or at least the ones that are still alive, trying to save him, trying to get a kill in exchange for his very daring delay. But it's only going to delay. They're not going to get the seed. It's still going to go over to Protectors of Aiur. There's still an experience advantage for Brickhouse. They're going to reach level 20 first. And that's going to be their window to close out this game. Protectors of Aiur are going to have to be very careful if they don't want to take a very, very bad fight in the next minute or 2. So they might just have to give this next seed. They can afford to do so, as it's 2-1 for them. It looks like Brickhouse wants to invade, but Protectors of Aiur are right around the corner. But it's going to be hard for them to try and stop it from happening with the level 20s online. We see Odin being used on this camp. That means it's not going to be up for the foreseeable future after that. Maybe he was, maybe he really wanted to take it down as fast as possible and was afraid to that Protectors of Aiur would get 20 before they were done. That's what I'm assuming. Now, Protectors of Aiur are putting some pressure into the top fort, but Brickhouse are looking for potential kill. The entire team is rotating. They're going to find Anubarak in the bush. But very good anchoring by the Anubarak. And a good route by the Boomer 444. They're not going to get as much damage as they were probably hoping for onto that top fort, but they managed to all survive. This seed is very, very far into the territory of Brickhouse. So I don't think that Protectors of Aiur is going to want to contest, and they don't. They're going to contest the next objective, and with the way that things are going, it might just be that the next fight over an objective is going to decide the game. I don't think Protectors of Aiur can win off of one objective unless they get a full team wipe from their opponents and push a lane down to the core. Even then, I don't know if they could quite manage it, but Brickhouse, if they get the next objective, they're going to do a lot with it and potentially end. We see the Hellgate from Diablo not quite managing to find a pick. And now this next seed is coming up. There's already a lot of pressure into that top lane from Brickhouse, so if they get this objective, it's going to do a lot of damage. And now the fight is started, but Sylvanas is not there to help. It's a 4v5. But there's a lot of damage onto that Diablo. Protectors of Aiur is doing pretty well, but in the back, the seed was being taken and nobody could manage to interrupt. Now the objective is going over to Brickhouse, and they're taking a lot of damage. They're in the middle of that enemy seed, which could stun them if they're not careful. They're going to walk away safely, but that means that Protectors of Aiur is in a very rough spot. Brickhouse has everything that they need to potentially end right now. Protectors of Aiur is going to have to try and look for a potential mistake to capitalize on. And that's a lot of stuns going on to Anubarak, and he's being shredded by Tychus. He dives away, barely manages to escape. Tazdingo is being used, a lot of health being regenerated by the Zul'jin. Very well done. He might just be able to help his team turn this game around. Now, Anubarak falls to a lot of damage from the Tassadar, a lot of burst with what I believe is percent damage. The core is very, very low. Tychus is giving everything he has to try and take it down. Zul'jin falls, and now there are only 3 people left to try and defend. It's a 3v4 for Protectors of Aiur, and yet they're going very, very far in. Tychus doing so much damage to that Sylvanas. A very good drag onto the Tassadar, but Brightwing's healings are on point. She's going to save his life barely. The core lives with 20% health, but they're not done. Odin is being used, and Tychus is looking to end this game. 14%, 13, he's taking a lot of damage. We see Deathwing diving in, and he's going to get the last few percent of damage on the core that he needed. A very, very close fight at the end, and Brickhouse, manages to close out this game in a very, very convincing fashion. Very well played by both teams, but I have to say Brickhouse was very dominant in both of those games. The second one was a little closer. I have to say I couldn't tell I couldn't tell what was going to happen in that last fight until the very end. And I kind of wish Protectors of Aiur managed to defend themselves there so we could have gotten a longer game, but either way they did very well. Brickhouse doing fantastic damage. Zul'jin gets the top damage, however, but the Tassadar with the percent damage on his Q, which I believe was a... No, he didn't stack his Q, I'm surprised. But still, it does 8% of maximum health, which shredded the Anubarak on the other side many a time. Tychus also has a lot of percent damage, so That was very dangerous, dangerous territory for the Anubrak to live in. The combos on the side of Protectors of Aiur were just fantastic. The Haka dragging, followed by Sylvanas' Mind Control, followed by a root from Anduin, and a root from Zul'jin, or even a stun from Anubrak. They had what it took to pick and take down the enemy team, but unfortunately they didn't manage to pull it off quite enough to win, to win those fights and turn the game around. While Brickhouse did very, very well, you gotta give it to that Brightwing. She really had on-point heals all this game, clutch heals. She managed to save her teammates' lives countless times. And Tychus and Tacet are doing very, very good damage, and a Deathwing in the offlane. Fantastic. Let's look at those talents before we close out tonight's casting. Once again, we saw Cocoon, Light Bomb, Tazdingo, Isolation, and Mind Control. And on the other side, Blink, Heal, Bellowing Roar, Lightning Breath, Commandeer Odin, and Black Hole. So, if you liked the way that those players played their game, and you would like to try those talent builds out for yourself, or modify them to your own desires, feel free to copy them and apply them as much as you want. Once again, a slightly shorter match than I was hoping for, but still, I loved to watch I loved to watch this. Very entertaining. Both teams playing very well. It's always fantastic for me to watch games in a higher division, because I play in I play in Division E, so anything above that can be very, very interesting to watch. Very, very good combos. I'm going to have to tell my team that we need to try out this drag into Mind Control combo. That was fantastic. Either way, I hope you enjoy these games. Thank you, Ronan, for having hung around, and I'm glad you enjoyed. And I hope to see you again soon. I don't know exactly when I'm going to cast again. Maybe tomorrow? Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see if there are good games to cast. I'm hoping to do a live cast next. Those are always a little more exciting because nobody knows how it's going to end. So those are fun, and you get to have an interview with the winners afterwards. So I'll let you all know what I do. Quick shout out before I leave to NGS. If you like what they do and you want to help them continue to do it, consider donating to their Patreon or buying stuff from their merch store. They have some very, very awesome looking stuff in there. And as for myself, I do some video editing professionally. I'm currently looking for work as a freelance video editor, so if you have some video projects to get done and you want them to look very awesome, then you can find my info in the description below. And that'll be it for me for tonight. I'm hoping to see you soon in the coming days. Take care of yourselves until then. See ya.